Look at this guy. He just tossed 3 perfectly good seeds like they were yesterday's newspaper. Did you see that? Most people look at this and think he's just a messy bird-brained eater, but you are actually watching a high-level cognitive operation in progress. This tiny bird isn't just hungry, he is performing a complex mathematical calculation to ensure his survival. This is the tufted titmouse, and in the world of backyard birds, he is the reasoning forager. If you think he's just a smaller version of a chickadee, you're missing out on one of the most analytical minds in your garden.
Check out that mohawk. That's his crest, and it's basically an emotional barometer that he can raise or lower depending on how curious or alert he is. He's got those huge, dark, obsidian eyes and a stout, powerful bill that looks like a miniature pair of pliers. This is a bird built for investigation. Related to the chickadee, the tufted titmouse is a year-round resident in much of the eastern US, which means he's one of your most consistent and loyal neighbours.
Did you notice how he didn't bolt when the camera moved? Titmice are famously bold, but here's the thing. That boldness is calculated. He isn't tame. He's spent months building a reputation map of you. He's memorised your gait, the sound of your back door, and even the rhythm of your routine. He has filed you under safe presence in his personal database, which allows him to get closer to you than almost any other bird in the yard. But why is he so picky with the seeds? Let's break down the logic of his lunch.
Now, watch what happens next. Here is the crazy part. Every time this bird visits your feeder, he is running a multifaceted decision-making process. Researchers have found that titmice don't just grab the biggest seed they see. They are looking for the best return for effort expended. Think about his to-do list. He has to grab a seed, fly it to a safe hack site, usually a branch with good cover, hold it between his toes and hammer it open with his bill. That takes energy. If he chooses a huge seed that's mostly empty shell, he's losing energy on the deal. He is literally looking for the highest fat content, which is why he'll dig through a cheap mix just to find the black oil sunflower seeds. That's his high-octane fuel. Look at that. He's bill sweeping, using his beak to feel the weight and density of each seed to ensure it's worth the flight. He is quite literally weighing his options.
Did you notice he's just sitting there? The feeder is full, but he's not budging. This is another example of titmouse reasoning. Scientists have observed that if a predator, like a Cooper's hawk, has been seen nearby, a titmouse may decide to eat later in the day. Here's why. A full belly makes a bird heavy and slow. By keeping his weight down during peak hawk hunting hours, he stays in flight-ready status in case he needs to pull off a 27G turn to escape. He is balancing the risk of starvation against the risk of being eaten, and most of the time, his math is perfect.
And look at that! He's not even eating this one. He's cashing it. He is making a long-term investment in your property. By hiding thousands of seeds across your trees, he's creating a pantry that he'll remember for months, thanks to a winter burst of neurogenesis that actually grows new neurons in his brain to hold the map.
Did you hear that? It wasn't a song. It was a seat call, a high-frequency whistle that means hawk overhead. The reason it sounds so thin is brilliant. That specific frequency is almost impossible for a hawk to locate directionally. The titmouse is warning everyone while remaining acoustically invisible himself. Look at the other birds. The chickadees and nuthatches all froze at the exact same time. Your yard runs on a shared early warning system. This is called heterospecific eavesdropping, where the titmouse listens to the language of other species to stay safe. Because he's so plugged into the neighbourhood watch, he can afford to spend more brain power on those complex foraging calculations and less time scanning the sky.
No way! Fact 1. The small world brain. You might think a bird this small has a simple brain, but no way. Titmice have a neuroarchitecture that is functionally similar to our own. Scientists call it a small world network, and it works a lot like Facebook. Different regions of the brain, like memory, spatial orientation, and problem solving, are connected by hub nodes that allow information to travel at lightning speed. This is how a bird the size of your thumb can integrate landmarks, weather patterns, and your personal reputation into one single mental map. He isn't just a bird, he's a living, flying supercomputer. No way. Fact 2. Living barometers. Did you know your titmice are better at forecasting the weather than the app on your phone? Titmice are extraordinarily sensitive to barometric pressure. When the pressure starts to drop ahead of a major winter storm, they don't wait for the first snowflake. They go into a feeding frenzy. If you see your titmice hitting the feeder with unusual urgency at dusk, pay attention. They are stocking up on fat reserves because they know they might have to sit tight in a dense thicket for the next 24 to 48 hours to survive the coming freeze. So, the next time you see that flash of grey and that little mohawk at your feeder, remember, you're not just looking at a cute visitor. You're looking at a cognitive elite that has personally assessed your character, integrated the local barometric pressure, and is currently weighing your sunflower seeds to the milligram. The relationships we build with these birds are real, and they are built on the quiet daily work of just being someone they can count on. What birds are you seeing at your feeder right now? Do you have a titmouse that seems particularly bold or picky? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one, and I love hearing your stories. And if you want to know why this tiny dynamo in your garden actually has a tongue that works like a high-speed pump, you definitely won't want to miss our next video. Thanks for watching Feather Files. I'll see you in the next one.